next 8 years, from 2014, oh no, 9 years, 2014 to 2023. The cost of those 400 new aircraft will be $16 billion. So the first aircraft come in the winter of 2015. We have two of those aircraft will be based here in Sackville from I think about November 2015 onwards, and then we expect the fleet to continue to grow. And I think one of the things that I'm most excited about our new aircraft is the new extension at the airport here in Sackville. We have for the last 18 months been building a big new extension to the terminal. So when all of you are going on your holidays this year, you'll be going through what looks like a brand new airport here in Bergamo. Beautiful new departure area, fantastic shopping area for those of you who like shopping, and also great new departures. So we have brand new aircraft and lots more of them, and the airport has brand new facilities and much more room and much more space for everybody when you're going on holidays. Thank you for your question. Who's next? That wasn't a really good question. I need a much better question.
No Paris for you, Frederick.
How many questions are we going to do, or is there?
It's up to you.
That's fine. Oh, okay. Who's next?
Can you tell us the reason of its great success and the reason of its name?
The reason for the great success, and what was the second part?
The reason of its name, about Ryanair's name.
Oh yeah, Ryanair's name is easy because it was originally set up by a family called Ryan, and they were Irish, and so a little bit stupid. So they started off with a very large fortune, and as a result of setting up the airline, the large fortune became a very small fortune very quickly. So one of the stupidest things you can do in life is to set up an airline, because most airlines lose money. And the second stupidest thing you could do is to put your name on the side of the aircraft. So they were called Ryan, and they thought, we need a good name for an airline. Let me think of a good name for an airline. Ryanair. As you can see, they weren't very bright, they weren't very clever. They've asked me, would we like to change the name of the... It is a good name. Hey, Majorana. I've been asked in the past, why don't we change the name to O'Leary Air? To which I've said, well, the reason we won't change it to O'Leary Air because nobody would fly with us if they thought my name was on the side of the aircraft. So that's why it's called Ryanair. The first part of the question, the reason for the most brilliant success of Ryanair is very simple. It's all down to me. But and I think the secret of my success is my brilliance, my genius, my humility. Stefano, in his presentation, we have my CV, which is on our website, is that I was born in a stable in Bethlehem. My father was a carpenter.
I know that you...
My mother was a virgin. And she thinks I'm Jesus Christ Almighty. The reason for our success in Ryanair is we have a team of really very good people, and we're very fortunate to have very successful partners like Sackville, who are our biggest airport in Italy, and I think our second biggest airport in all of Europe, after only London Stansted. So always in life, work with or get close to good people, and always try and work with good people, because good people will make you better.
Thank you.
Grazie. Next question. Please don't clap, because you just encourage me. It's not good.
Has the economic crisis affected the company account?
Yes, the economic crisis has been very good for the company. The great thing about an economic crisis is that everybody still wants to go on holidays, and everybody still needs to go and visit their friends, visit their families, travel on business. But the difference in an economic crisis is that everybody, whether you're An individual, a family, a company always want to, are much more concerned, oh, I don't want to waste money. Can I fly at a lower cost? Can I stay at a lower cost hotel? Can I and my family go on holiday and at less money than, because we have less money ourselves because of the economic crisis. So it's been very good for our business. And the reason why we've ordered 400 more aircraft is that we expect over the next 8 years to grow Ryanair from 100 million passengers this year to about 160 million passengers a year in 8 years' time. We would believe, and I hope, that instead of carrying 8 million passengers a year in Sakpo, in about 6 to 8 years' time, that figure will be about 12 million passengers. So Sakpo will have to extend the terminal again and make it even bigger than it is today. That, by the way, was a very good question. So will you give me, you get a pair of flights to Paris from you get his name and details. You give your name to Anne-Marie or Anna-Marie and we'll send you a pair of flights to Paris. Okay, next question. I'm still waiting for an answer. Yes?
Yes. Someone likes my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Well, first of all,
I like the sunglasses. His hairstyle, I'm not too sure about. Okay, go.
Well, first of all, thank you for the inspiration that Alicia gave to me. And I have one important question.
Yeah.
With what airline did you come here?
Silly question. I flew on Ryanair. Last night we flight left Dublin at 6 o'clock. It landed in Bergamo on time at about just before 9 o'clock. Which was good. And there was one of the aircraft. Our aircraft had 189 seats. I'm pleased to say there was 187 seats sold. So we had only 2 seats last night. I always fly Ryanair. One, because I don't like to waste money, so I don't fly Alitalia. And I always like to get there on time, which means I never fly Alitalia either. Anybody else? Next question. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. Shoot.
No.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ryanair,
Bit nervous. Go for it.
has over the years constantly invested in our serious airport. That has become one of the most important air companies in northern Italy. We'd like to ask you if your company can invest more in the intercontinental routes leaving from Bergamo, like for example our Serio JFK New York Airport. And as a second question, we'd like to know what advantage led to the company to buy only Boeing 777.
Okay, thank you. Very good question. Two things. So, firstly, we are we're working on a plan. We would like to fly from Europe to the United States. The politicians have deregulated, I don't know if you understand that word. In the past, if we wanted to fly from Europe to the United States because we're Irish, we're only free to fly from Ireland to America and from America to Ireland. We're not free to fly from, say, Italy to the US. Thankfully, the politicians have changed those rules, so we're now free to fly from all over Europe to all over the US. But we don't have any aircraft that will fly that far, so we need to order a fleet of aircraft, either 787s, 777s, or Airbuses, A330s. The Gulf Airlines, Etihad, Emirates, and Qatar have ordered up most of the production of those aircraft for the next 5 years. So we can't get the aircraft yet to do it. But if we are able to get aircraft, clearly Bergamo will be one of those airports that we would like to fly from for two reasons. One, because we already have a big operation in Bergamo, and therefore we could connect lots of passengers on our flights into Bergamo and then on from Bergamo to New York, to San Francisco, LA, Austin, Chicago. And also because in the States, you have many millions of Italians and people of Italian descent who want to come back and visit Italy. The reason they don't do so so much today is because the prices are very high on Alitalia and on the American Airlines. And we believe if we could do a transatlantic service to and from a great airport like Sakpo, I think it would be very successful. Why do we only buy Boeings? We only buy Boeings because Boeings are cheaper for us than the Airbus aircraft. Our aircraft, this is a 737-800. It has 189 seats. The equivalent in Airbus is an A320, which is only 180 seats. So this has 9 more seats than an Airbus aircraft. Those 9 extra seats earn about $1 million a year more in flying for Ryanair. So over a 15 or 20 year period, those 9 extra seats help us to pay for the aircraft. But if Airbus were to offer us a lower price for Airbus aircraft than Boeing did, we would buy Airbus. But what tends to happen is if your first big aircraft order is Boeing, then when you come back to do the next order, Boeing will generally just slightly undercut Airbus. If your first order was an Airbus, Airbus will slightly undercut the prices of Boeing so that they keep you as a customer. It's just the way the industry tends to be. Good question, thank you, grazie. Who's next? Ah, yes, sorry, pretty lady here.
Can you tell me how much time is there?
How much time we have? At least another 20 minutes, isn't it? 9:30? Yes?
Good morning, Mr. O'Leary.
I don't know what the question is, but you've just won a pair of free flights from anywhere, from Bergamo to anywhere we fly. I know it's unfair, but she's pretty, so what can I do?
When you were at Majorana, did you think that your life and your job could be as is today?
Yes. No, sorry, that's actually wrong. When I was in school, now I was in school in Ireland in the 1960s and 70s, so I'm very, very old. But Ireland was a different country in those days. In the 60s and 70s, Ireland was a very poor country. It was before the European Union. And we had an island of 4 million people. And every year, about 100,000 young people would leave to go and find work in England and America. So we were, I don't know, something that kid like Sicily or something, where everybody grows up and leaves because there's no jobs. And in those days, the only way to leave Ireland was actually on a ferry, because nobody could afford. There was only one airline, Aer Lingus, which was the Alitalia of Ireland. So they were very high fares. So everybody grew up in Ireland. When I was your age, a student, 15, 16, 17, if you wanted to go to England, you got on a boat, which was good at the time because you'd be on the boat, your parents couldn't see that you were drinking alcohol somewhere, and you'd be running around the boat trying to avoid your parents finding you drinking beer. But I always wanted to grow up and say, I don't want to be poor, I want to be rich, like everybody, I want to be rich. I was never going to be a pop star. I wasn't good at football, so I realized at kind of 15, 16, I better work hard in school, because I'm not going to be a pop star, I won't be a footballer, I better find some other way of making money. And I was very fortunate then, by working hard at school, by going along and working hard at university, you meet some people in your life, like Tony Ryan, who set up Ryanair, like Emilio Bellingardi here, who has been the man of inspiration behind Sacco for the last 10 or 15 years, that I've been very successful. But it starts by being firstly ambitious when you're in school, and there's lots of different distractions in school, but the most important thing you must learn is to, 1, be ambitious, 2, work hard. Every single person sitting in this room, if you work hard, can go out and change the world. It doesn't happen to somebody else, it can happen to you. But it will only happen to you if you work hard, be ambitious, always go and want to do better, and change the world. Because you can do it. The people in this school, the great advantage of countries like Italy and Ireland is we are producing incredibly bright and incredibly brilliant kids. But what you have to remember is you're bright, you're brilliant, go ahead and change the world. Don't settle for second best, don't settle for a safe job in a government office, or be brilliant. Because you're all very well educated, very bright, go and change the world. If you can't play for Juventus, go and change the world. Next question. Yes. Who's got the next question?
I hope.
Yes. Stefano, back in again.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The guys want to take us to Paris, and we still have another prize.
Yes.
Okay. I have a deal for you.
Mm.
I'm a big supporter of Juventus FC.
Yeah.
And from the moment the Swedish final came in Berlin, your website, your amazing website, changed the price a little bit from a low fare to a high fare. That's business, I know. So if my answer, if my question would be a brilliant question, you will give me 2 tickets for Mel.
You want to be very brilliant.
Okay, I try.
Just an interesting point on that. I mean, Stefano is right, because the impression is all the time that, you know, we're there sitting by the computer and Juve qualified for the final of the European Cup where we suddenly will close off the cheap seats and put up all the prices. I wish it were true. The difficulty we have is we have more than 1,600 routes all over Europe. We don't have enough people with enough computers to sit there going, Juventus have qualified for the final, close off all the cheap seats and make everybody pay high prices. Because at the same time, we then actually have to go in for the Madrid supporters and go, shit, Madrid didn't qualify, open up the cheap seats again because they're not going to, nobody will fight from Madrid to Berlin and that. And actually what happens is, because we have such a big website and a big computer, is customers themselves, in the days or weeks before the semi-finals, we see the flights are booking for Berlin because the Italians think Juve will qualify. By about half time, the bookings take off, and by 90 minutes, everything's all sold. And it's because actually people are sitting there watching the match on their computers going, I think I'll go to Berlin for the final, boom. So we don't close off the cheap seats, we don't put up all the prices. What actually happens is millions of people all over northern Italy, Turin, Milan, Bergamo, are in there actually booking up those cheap seats. And I would be surprised if we have even any seats left to go from Bergamo. I would imagine Bergamo to Berlin are probably all sold for the 2 or 3 days in the run-up to the final. Hopefully Juventus win is very important for us. We, as in Ireland, we like to support the Italian teams more than the Spanish teams. So I hope Juventus win the final. But you're playing Messi and Neymar and Suarez, so the Juventus defense better be very good in Berlin. That wasn't a brilliant question, so you're not getting it. I will still give 2 free tickets to Berlin from Bergamo. 2 free tickets to Berlin for the night of the final if someone comes up with a really good question. Next question.
The last one.
Oh, last one. Okay. Who's got the last question? Yes, sir.
Question.
I come with you, by the way.
Wait for the question.
You are a successful person. You have realized your dream. I want to ask you which advice could you give to our guys in order to overcome the difficulties, the problems, and to realize their dream. Thank you.
Okay. Well, firstly, I should start by changing the question. 1, I'm not successful, and 2, I haven't realized my dream. Because I think if you ever wake up someday and think, I'm successful, I've realized my dream, then your life is kind of finished, it's over. What else do you do? So I think it's important to always to have a mentality, whether you're in school or you're in university or you're in business or you work for an airline. You must always, every day, go, my life isn't successful because I must try harder, I must work harder. I've realized my dream. I haven't actually. My dream is now to get to 160 million passengers, and then when I get to 160 million passengers in 8 years' time, we then have set 250 million passengers. You must always be pushing yourself. So you must always have, I think it's very difficult for someone, Michael, if you take Michael Jordan, you know, you're Michael Jordan, you're the best basketball player in the world, or you're Messi, you're the best soccer player in the world. You've won the European Cup, you've won the what do you do next? You retire. And then life goes that way. So the most important advice I give to everybody is always try harder. Tomorrow wake up, try harder. Don't ever believe that you're the best or that you've succeeded or that you're there, because you're never there. There's always somebody else who's going to try as hard as you. There's always competition. Somebody's going to try to beat you. you should try to beat them. So the most important thing in life is always to have some, what's the word, humility. Humility, is that right? Is always never believe that you're the best, never believe that you're success, never believe that you've achieved all your dreams, because you can always work harder, be more successful, achieve more dreams, do more. And the great thing is I got married when I was 42, so I now have 4 children from 9, 8, 6 and 5. And every day, the great thing about having young children is they tell me how rubbish I am at almost everything. And children like that are very good at keeping your feet on the ground. Because you go to these kind of schools and sometimes this president, oh, Michael O'Leary is brilliant, Michael O'Leary, my kids go, he's an idiot. And it's a very important, so I think the most important message for everybody, if you're in school, if you're in college, is work harder, push yourself harder, do more, achieve more, but always keep resetting your dreams, resetting your goals so that you keep working towards. And if you keep doing that, eventually you'll wake up someday at 55 or 60 or 65 or 70 on a beach in Barbados surrounded by lots of pretty girls and